Are you in the process of making a photo book and you just feel like there needs to be a little bit more customization? Now, you can use Snapfish or Shutterfly or different places online where you're able to make these photo books, but sometimes you just don't have the customizability as a traditional photo editing software could use. This free photo editing software called PhotoScape X, I'm going to be using it today to show you what you can do to photos or scanned photos to be able to make your photos stand out and to work great in some of these different online book creating softwares. So this is actually a book that my mom put together. She loves making these type of things. This is for our wedding that we put together, and it worked out really, really well. You got to start out with some good photos and then just some editing ideas and tips, but let me show you what you can do. So here we are in PhotoScape X. We can hop over to the viewer here. I've already opened up the tab that has all the photos for this project. I thought, okay, for an example here, what I could do is I could go back over and take some photos that was from 2015, back when I was doing construction for a guy named Ivan, and he taught me a ton about some construction work. We did a lot of roofing together. And it was a blast. I made, I think, 15 an hour, so it was pretty good for being right out of high school. Just a job to just get started on some different projects and things, just to get busy and just to figure out how the real world works. So it was a lot of fun. But let's go through and see what kind of editing things you can use in PhotoScape X to get exactly what you're looking for. So let's take an example like this. This is one of my coworkers, Dave, and let's say you wanted to put this into the photo book. Now, sometimes you have things like scanned images or just photos that you've taken. Some of them look amazing. Some of them are like perfectly lined up, straight and cropped perfectly. Or sometimes it just looks like a big mess. So let's look at what you can do here. So let me make the grid here just on the side so we don't have anything weird. So what you can do here is, let's say there's parts of the image that you don't want. Say it's a scanned image and you got like half the page isn't even part of the photo or not even what you want. You can crop in, and you're able to go over here to the crop tab. So we're in edit. So we were in the viewer, clicking around in here. There's an edit tab at the bottom right hand side. You click into that, and then you have where you can edit it. You can go into crop and you can just draw whatever you want to have in here. Now this is a free crop, which means there's no limitations on what size or shape it ends up being. You can just crop it however you'd like, which that works okay, but some softwares, like with Snapfish or Shutterfly, they probably are going to want you to have certain aspect ratios and things like that. Some of the most important ones to remember are 16 by 9. That's the size of like a normal television. Then there's others like 4 by 6. You might have heard some of these before when people are just rattling off, like back in the day when you would get prints of things and it would be, oh yeah, would you like some 4 by 6 or some wallet size, or like, I want a 5 by 7. But just think about those different sizes. Some of them are going to be a lot wider, and then also others are going to be a lot more square, even completely square. And that's totally fine. It's just whatever look you want. But that crop means you can crop in just what you want and to not have the stuff that you don't want in your image. All these images are taken with like a smartphone, so it's nothing like super special or incredible, but it captured a moment that you might want to hold on to. Like in this one, I think it ended up raining on us. Oh boy, it was a mess. But so we can take a look at some of these things here. So I can go into crop here. I can say, I want a 4 by 3, and I'm gonna crop this in. It's not gonna be as wide. Let's zoom in here so we can really get just what's going on in this image. Still keep like the truck in the background and everything like that. So you can get that right to the way that you want it. And then when you save it, it's important to remember how to save your images. If I just go down here and I hit save, that will save it, but it will remove the original. So this was the original. You're going to remove that and it's just going to save this, which that might be fine for you, but maybe down the road you would have wanted to go back and taken just the wide full shot. In some of these edits, what is probably safest to do is when you get to the way that you like it, is just to go over here to, instead of save, but go over to more, and in more, it's save as. That means you're saving it as a different name. What I would normally do if I have a folder that says, okay, this is work or construction or something, I would open a new folder, write in edit or edited, and that is the folder that you're going to want to save all your edited images into. And then maybe put a name on here because it'll be easier to drag and drop if you're able to see exactly what it is and have a little clue with the name. So I could say, roofing, and then I can put the guy's name in there, and then it's saved, ready to go. So that's really nice to be able to have that of just freedom to say, okay, I got that saved, and I can go back to the original if I need to. So that's definitely helpful there. So we can just cycle through some of these different images. One thing that's nice in the viewer is up here, you have just looking at one full image, or you can put them side by side. So if you had a time when you took two very similar images and you were trying to compare between the two, you can look at those two different ones. And down here at the bottom left, there's even a slider where you're able to zoom in and look at two images side by side. Now in this case, these are different tools, but if you were using the exact same photo or real similar photos, it'll be important to have something very similar. Let's see, over here in editor, I can look through these thumbnails and select which one I want next. Here's a huge panorama image, and this is a real neat one. I took this big panorama image and shows them loading stuff onto the truck, and it shows the whole scene of what's going on. Back when panorama was like a real big thing. It's probably actually gotten a lot better. I just haven't used anything like this for a long time. But what you could do is you could crop it to whatever size you want, and you can just save just that part of the image and you're good to go. Now, one other thing that's important is sometimes you could get an image and maybe it takes forever to load for some reason, like to load onto Snapfish or to Shutterfly. And there could even be some limitations on how big of an image you can put in. I know that's probably less and less a common thing that happens these days, but what is important to remember is that you can actually downsize your images so they don't use as much data, or if there's a limit on there. So over here you have the resize button. So you have resize button up here in the top right in edit, hit resize, and like this one, it's 3,264 pixels by 2,448 pixels. You could decrease that down to whatever you want it to be. So that's really nice to be able to just decrease that. So we could say, oh, let's just change it to 1,000 pixels, 1,000 by 550 or by 750, and it will decrease the clarity or the resolution. But if you need to, so fit on to the whatever site you're putting it on, or to be able to load it faster, you run into things like this on websites a lot because you don't want them to take forever to load that image if you can just downsize it and it still works just fine. So it kind of just depends, but that's how you resize those different images as far as how many pixels there are. Okay, other things to note in here, there are a lot of different tools in here like color to be able to maybe do like HDR or to increase the contrast in your image or the saturation. And there's ways to really make your images pop. I've made a lot of different videos on PhotoScape X. I would definitely recommend you to check those out to learn some of these other tools. But this is just a helpful way to remember how you can go through and edit images. And one thing that's nice is that you got to remember about that save as feature, because when you're cropping in and you go and you crop this, let's say you crop that, if you just hit save, you could lose the rest of the image. What is better is if you're able to save as, and then you can go back, and let's say you wanted to grab a different part of the image for a different page or a different section in your photo book, you could go and you could select this other section here, and you're like, oh, here's some good detail of us using, putting the material on or doing this project. So you could do that, especially if you're scanning photos into a computer and you're putting like 3 or 4 photos on the scanner at one time and you get one big image. you can go and you can crop each one out and save it as its own, and then you're able to upload that to Snapfish or Shutterfly or these others. So I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. But yeah, it was really fun to go through and look at some of these old images of projects I've worked on in the past, and reminded me why I don't do roofing anymore. But nonetheless, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.